Mississippi has long carried one of the most brutal legacies of racism in America. For generations, it was a hotbed of racial terror and civil unrest, a place where oppression wasn't just tolerated, it was law. I used to wonder why the black folks in Mississippi didn't rise up against such evil, why they didn't fight back harder. And then I discovered the Black Struggle Movement. This is the story of those who did fight back. Armed black men and women who stood their ground, who organized, who launched economic boycotts that hit Jim Crow where it hurt, in the pocket. These are the true accounts of resistance and resilience from the Delta to the coast that helped bend the arc of justice a little closer toward freedom. When justice failed, when protection was denied, when even prayer didn't feel like enough, that's the heart of this story. It's about men and women who didn't just believe in freedom, they built it from the ground up, brick by brick, armed with strategy, hope, and sometimes a shotgun. In 1960, Bob Moses, Harvard-educated, soft-spoken, and deeply committed, came down to Mississippi on a scouting trip. He was on assignment from Ella Baker, the backbone of SNCC, the Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee. She'd organized with the NAACP, worked beside Dr. King, and she knew exactly who to call when it came time to build something serious in Mississippi. Top of her list, Amzie Moore. Amzie wasn't flashy. He was a gas station owner in Cleveland, Mississippi, a World War II vet, a man who'd seen the world and returned home to find his people still locked out of democracy. Amzie had already been organizing with the RCNL, the Regional Council of Negro Leadership, and knew firsthand the cost of resistance. The White Citizens Council tried to choke his business. The post office cut his hours, but Amzie kept pushing. He told Bob Moses, if you're serious about change, it ain't lunch counters you need to worry about, it's the vote. So Moses listened. And when he brought SNCC back to Mississippi, he didn't just come with pamphlets, he came with purpose. Voter registration would be the battlefield, and Amzie Moore's home became the first safe house, stocked with food, stories, and a loaded Luger on the nightstand, just in case. That was the introduction to Mississippi's reality. While SNCC believed in nonviolence as philosophy, many folks in Mississippi had lived too long under the threat of white violence to give up their shotguns. Not for pride, for survival. That dual reality between peace and protection played out across the state. E.W. Steptoe in Amite County, a dairy and cotton farmer with deep roots in the land, Steptoe had long tangled with the local white power structure. Just down the road lived Daniel Hurst, a white politician known for enforcing Jim Crow by any means. And in 1961, Hurst murdered Herbert Lee, a black farmer and NAACP supporter who was working with SNCC. 3 black witnesses saw it happen. One of them, Lewis Allen, had been forced to lie and say it was self-defense. Later, Allen confessed to Moses that he was ready to tell the truth to a grand jury, that Hurst had murdered Lee in cold blood. Moses begged the Department of Justice for protection. Their reply, there is no way possible. With no protection, Allen was harassed constantly, and just as he was planning to leave Mississippi, he was shot and killed in his driveway, January 31st, 1964. After that, Steptoe and his 5 sons created their own protection plan. Sentries were posted around their farm. They didn't wait for help. They became the help, but they didn't stop organizing. Steptoe stayed in contact with SNCC, providing shelter, wisdom, and resolve to the younger generation. In Macomb, voter registration efforts faced constant harassment. SNCC workers like Moses were tailed by police, threatened by white citizens, and watched by the Klan. But there were 3 black neighborhoods, Berglund, Algiers, and Beartown, that shielded the movement. In Berglund, Ernest Nobles, another World War II vet and NAACP leader, owned a dry cleaning business, Nobles Brothers Cleaners. When things got hot, SNCC workers would sneak in through the side entrance, duck behind equipment, and wait for the Nobles family to drive them out safely. The Cleaners was armed, and across the street, a black-owned taxi stand kept a watchful eye. It was community security in real time. In August 1961, SNCC Direct Action Wing sent Marion Barry, yes, the future mayor of D.C., to lead workshops on nonviolence. 2 local teenagers, Hollis Watkins and Curtis Hayes, signed up. Within weeks, they staged Mississippi's first lunch counter sit-in at the Macomb Woolworths. They were arrested, spent 34 days in jail, and came out more committed than ever. But even Hollis had his doubts. He came from Lincoln County, where everyone had a shotgun in the house, for protection, not politics. He carried a knife before he joined SNCC. And when white supremacists came to his father offering bribes to make Hollis quit, his father told them, "If you want to meet me, I'm prepared to meet you." That same courage traveled to Forest County, where NAACP leader Vernon Dahmer asked SNCC to bring the fight for voting rights to Hattiesburg. Dahmer, born in 1908, could have passed for white, but he chose to stand with his people. He ran a 200-acre farm, a sawmill, a grocery store. He gave SNCC organizers a place to stay, jobs, a car, and armed protection. He and his wife Ellie took turns sleeping at night watching the property. Every so often, Vernon would fire a shot in the air just to let folks know he was still alive and he wasn't backing down. Dahmer believed in the vote. He believed in nonviolence, but he also believed in being ready. And that's what ties this entire movement together. It wasn't either or, it was both. If you watched the entire video, thank you. If you want to hear more of this courageous story, please subscribe and hit the bell to be notified when I post my next video. Until then, take care of yourself, fam, and always take care of your people. God bless.